What's going on, guys? We've got Sports Talk 4 here. We're gonna keep the train going here. We're going more NBA, talking about NBA right here in this vid. This video I want to talk about building big threes and things like that. First thing I want to say is that I personally have nothing. I don't have nothing negative to say about teams that build big threes, and I simply look at it as this: there's pretty much three ways to make your team better. We have the draft, we have trade, and we have free agency. So pretty much to build a big three, you gotta have at least three players. Which my understanding of what a big three, one piece of a big three is a player who has multiple all-star appearances, probably MVP award, things like that, with two other guys to make a big three. So this is how I look at it. If you have one player on a team, and let's say that team is pretty much, they playoffs and things like that, and so you can pretty much take LeBron James, his last seasons in Cleveland, before he went to Miami. They were 60 plus winning team or whatever they were. Let's say they're not that good. Let's say they're trying to get over the hump. Let's say they're third or fourth best, and we're saying, like, if they just had one more piece. So let's say our team we talking about here, using this as an example, has a point guard, right? They have a point guard. You say this guy's the best point guard in the league. He just needs some help. You can't get the help from the draft pretty much, because you're a playoff team, and let's say you're not trading anything, you just need an extra piece. If you trade something, you're giving up value of your team that can be less to try to get some college prospect that you don't know how that person's going to pan out. Especially, you're not getting anything through 1 through 3 pretty much. You're probably not going to get anything like that. So what can you do? The next thing you can do is you can trade. But just like trading up in a draft, it is a trade. To get a player, you would have to trade value off your team. The only way that can pretty much work to get an all-star caliber player is that team has to recognize that player's not going to sign back in their last year, and they're going to have to trade him there. But then again, you're trading value away to get that all-star player. So the next way you can do is just through free agency, which you wouldn't be trading value away. But I play devil's advocate to my own theory and my own thinking. If you have so much money to get an all-star caliber player, you're not going to have as much value, or vice versa. I play devil's advocate here. I play devil's advocate here to my own thinking. To get that all-star caliber player, you gotta, let's say you gotta have cap space. So if your team is so good that you're pretty much just middle of it, you may not have the space. But we've seen it in times where probably in New York, I'm not sure really where they're at with the cap space in the last couple of years. Well, they did have probably after Amari. The LeBron James teams before he went to Miami, things like that. D Wade's probably 2 seasons before that, which pretty much, I guess, end up giving them the reason to sign Chris Bosh and LeBron James. But there's really not much other ways you would build a team but with that. I mean, if we're keeping it, if teams are keeping it within the rules of the league, I'm totally for it. I'm totally for it because if the team, if an owner is willing to spend money to make his team better, I'm for it. As much as I hated I hate Boston teams. The Celtics did it. Cool, you know, cool. We just got to get better some way. And you know, I hate this thing where you know you have these old school players, these older guys, these guys that played say, oh, they would never do that. They didn't do that. You know, Magic came on. I mean, look at the team Magic came on. The team Bird was surrounded by. I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful, but the Bulls teams. I mean, after the Celtics and the Pistons teams had already been gone at that point. Then you had the Pacers, and then you had a young Shaq in Hardaway and things like that. That was pretty much the trouble in the East for those Bull teams. But I don't, like I said, I don't like when the other players say it, because at some point, players that didn't have a ring, they went looking for one. At some point, they went looking for one. You have, you know, you always hear Charles Barkley always say, well, I don't get why these guys wait until their 9th and 10th season to go work out with Akeem Olajuwon and things like that. Why not do it in your 2nd or your 3rd season? My question is, why wait when you're 35 and you're past your prime to go try to get that ring? Why not do it when you're 24 and 25? Why not make yourself a winner? Why not put some championship rings on your hand? And then go out when you're 30 and 31 and try to be your own Superman, to use Skip Bayless, your own Superman, or what was it, Batman, or whatever the hell his reference was. That's, you know, and saying like Shaq always say, no, you know, I didn't do it. The other guys didn't do it. The guys before me didn't do it. You know, I back him down, I hit him with the ball, and I dunk it, and it be barbecue chicken. I average 35 and 15. I'm not trying to hear that, Shaq. I'm not trying to hear it, because you went to Miami. You were still good there. You still good there. I think it was one season he probably should have got MVP, but you had Dwayne Wade. You had Dwayne Wade that averaged 37 or whatever he did against Dallas. You had Dwayne Wade. You went to Cleveland with LeBron James. You went to Phoenix with those Phoenix teams, and then you went to Boston. What? You know what I mean? You went to Boston and he was past his prime. He went to Cleveland, he was past his prime. He was a big cactus or whatever the hell he was in Arizona. He was pretty much past his prime. If they're keeping it within the rules of the NBA, man, I'm totally for it. You see it so many times in baseball where you have revenue sharing, but the smaller market teams they're not spending the money. So where the money is going, we don't know. No one knows but those teams. So if an owner is willing to spend his money to make that team better, man, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. It's all good. Because, you know, sometimes, man, it doesn't work. And as we've seen, teams win. Teams win these NBA championships. They're not just one guy surrounded by a bunch of bums that's winning these championships. It's teams, man. It's teams. The Spurs team, the Miami Heat team was a team. Those guys were a team. Despite LeBron James was their best defender, their best scorer, their best rebounder, their best passer. Despite all of that, they were a team. Those guys played lockdown defense. Wade, lockdown defense. When he was healthy, lockdown defense. These Warriors teams for the past 2 seasons, man, they were a championship team last year. They look like a championship team this year. You know, they're a team. You know, that Pistons team from 2004. Was it 2004 or 2005? They were a team. I'm a Sixers fan, and, you know, when we ran into the Lakers, we ran into a team. We had, I mean, don't want to be disrespectful to Aaron McKee. Mutombo was pretty much kind of old. But we had AI. But we ran into a team, you know. I wish that Kings team from, 2001 or 2002 would have won a ring, or at least went to the finals, because they were a team. Teams win, man, not these single individuals, and that's why I hate when we talk about championship rings, which is going to be the next video. So, guys, just like this video, do what you got to do. I'm done here.